Hi, it's me again with Corel Draws Tips and Tricks, and I did this color logo, and I've done it two different ways, and either one of these would engrave. I haven't checked for hairlines in this, but you could do it either way. I'm using his program, so his yellow is way up there. Kind of throws me off sometimes. And that's what it would look like. This would give you a gray. Now I made the eagle a little grayer, and you could fill in the leaves. You could fill in the outline. Several things you could do with it. But getting rid of these colors, because of the fact there's blends all through these leaves and all through here, the lighter shades, makes it kind of difficult. But it's not impossible. So we're going to take this logo, get rid of that rectangle, and I'm going to try to remember how I did this. This thing is, well, it's way too big. It's 22 inches. We'll leave it big. We'll change our nudge factor to 23, and I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to go to Group, and I'm going to ungroup all. Now what I need to do is move some of the stuff out of the way, so I'm going to try to get the outside edge of this item and move it over. Now I'm going to left click and leave it like that. I'm going to try to get the outside of the star or the star itself and move it over. I do not like that. Don't need that part of the star. There we go. I'm going to left click, right click on it. Now this yellow garbage I don't really need, but I don't really take it away. So I'm going to take everything now and fill it in with a gray. That got rid of all my lines, if you notice, because now the gray is on top. But my leaves are gone, so I'm going to nudge that over, and I'm going to grab my leaf, I'm going to turn it black, I'm going to nudge it over. I can see that I got the leaf, and I can now get the twig, turn it black, and nudge it over. I don't need those colors, but I'm going to use them. I already did that one. So here's one. You can kind of tell that you got the leaf, and you could turn it black before. See that? I'm getting the blend. I don't want the blend. So I'm not going to do all the leaves, but I'm going to do the same thing to the circles and move them over. And I'm actually leaving the blend of that little crescent shape behind. I don't want it. I might have grabbed one. And that one isn't where it needs to be. I must have moved the whole thing somehow. But anyway, we're not going to worry about that. Now, I need to get rid of all this other garbage. So if I would move the leaves, and you could move them first and then turn them black, and then just move the gray. That one I've already done. Turn that one black. I can see that I got the leaf there. I do need to move these out of the way, but you want them black. And I can, I moved it over and then need to make it black. I didn't really plan on doing, now I saw it jump, so you need to back up. Because that's maybe what happened to my circles. I can kind of tell by the shape and the size that what I have. That looks like the leaf, so I'm going to hit it black and move it over. And I don't know really why I want those. See, I've got a blend. I don't want that blend. Try to get away from the blend. Probably one more. Looks like a blend. That looks like the whole thing. Let me move that back. I don't know can't remember where it came from. So there should be a leaf in there. turn it black. So we need to do one more, which is this one right here. That's the blend, I don't need it. So instead of yesterday where I moved all the blends out of the way or deleted them, I don't have to do that today because the way I did it. So we're halfway there. Now I'm going to get rid of all this other garbage. That's going to be a little difficult there, but if you hold down, if you'll take your freehand pick tool and hold down your Alt button, anything you touch, it'll delete. Well, you can tell it to delete it. I didn't hold down the Alt button that time. So it's just barely touching that and it's deleting all that. Really, I'll go ahead and delete everything. So this is quite a bit faster than yesterday. Delete. Sometimes I wish I had 3 hands. And we're almost there. Now, yesterday there were a lot of lines in the eagle itself, and I've actually taken away the wordage. Now this is where the freehand pick tool can really help you. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more because I want to grab all of that. No, I don't. Take it back. Let's do this. Let's use the pick tool and grab that outside and move it down. Then I'm going to left click, right click, or left click and make it just the outline of it. Now here's where the pick tool can help you. Freehand pick tool. I want all this, well, you know what, I can probably grab that and move it down. But I've got that blend there. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold down the Alt key and I'm going to select, so anything that touched it, it's selected. Holding down the Alt key, nudge it over. Holding down the Alt key, nudge it over. Just remember, don't hit your delete key. 2 more. Bam. Now we can move our stars. So we're going to zoom in. And when you see it, just the shape of the star, you know I'm using the star, or I'm using treated as field. So see, I'm getting rid of all these. This is a bunch of lines because it's a blend. It's pretty cool for a color, but it does us no good. And really what I should have done, I should have nudged the stars down. But you know what? I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to use the Smart Fill tool with black, and I'm going to fill in my stars with black. You know what? I'm going to have to group that together. So let's use the freehand pick tool and try to move these all down. I don't have the freehand pick tool. See, whenever you get that, back up and move this stuff just out of the way. Because it's trying to, you could lock it. Freehand pick tool again. And this time I'm going to nudge them down. That's what I should have done before. Because I needed to group them together. And we're going to use a lot of, I didn't use the Alt key. We're going to use a lot of back minus front on this project in just a minute. So now I can take my stars, grab them all, and I'm going to make them black. And I'm also going to take away an outline just in case they're a hairline. Now I've got my shape down here, and I am going to group it together before I forget. Select it all, Control G, group it together. I'm going to nudge it up, and you can kind of see my stars are visible. But then I'm going to take this shape, nudge it over and up. Then I'm going to take this shape and see it jumped just a hair over and up. Look at that. That looks pretty good. Now this should be transparent. So what we can do, let's see if this works. I've got some lines. I can either delete these lines or I can try to move that gray to the back of the page. See what happens. Nope, didn't work. So what I'm going to do is make an outline of that. Left click, right click, and delete this line, because I don't want that line interfering. Now I can fill that back in with a gray. And if you don't know which gray you use for the other ones, that's pretty close. This one's just barely in the way. So I'm going to left click, right click and outline, and just barely move that out of the way. That one might even be impeding a little bit, yes. And see, those are some mighty thin lines. So I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool and fill it in. Now let's just happen to use the rectangle tool, draw a yellow box, and put the yellow box to the back of the page. So that ring is transparent, and that's what I want. Now I can bring this back, and I can bring all this back, and I can move my eagle over. Now I did get rid of the words. Let's group this guy together. And because I smart filled it, or I filled it, the extra lines are in the way. Now I need to go to Object, Order, Front of Page. And there you go. Now we might have a little bit of problem here, but not really. And what I would do, let's back up here and nudge that guy back out. And let's put a thicker line. It says several outlines. We're going to make the width a 1/2 point and scale it with Object. Let's see what it looks like. The blend came through this right here, but we can delete it. Object, group, ungroup all, and just start deleting these lines. Now, I don't really know. I'd have to go back to the original and see what this was. Somebody took a lot of time to draw this. Now let's group it together, Control G, nudge it over, go to Object, Order, Front of Page. Now there's a lot you could do with this. We're done. So now I've got that line from the stars in the way, but that's easily remedied. Take your virtual segment delete key and delete it. And I missed one of the circles, but you could smart fill this in with a black or leave it transparent. Kind of shows off the eagle that way. You could even fill in this. Just personal preference. But I would not cut this out, and I would maybe check my outer lines, see what thickness they are. Sorry about that. I clicked on one of my videos. So I would check my this line. It's 0.2 point, just maybe make it like a 1/2 point. Scale it with objects in case you make it bigger. And there might be some hairlines in here, but that would engrave pretty cool. And you could take away these, the gray parts of the leaves, and you need to replace that circle. And I've got another one down here. Anyway, and now my letters are back. Now those letters are actually just lines now, but you could fill them in with black and make them solid. We're going to have to Object, Order, Front of Page. So you could fill all these in, and there's a lot you could do with this, but fill all the words in, and I think that's going to grade pretty good. I hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.